All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about the world of 3D sculpting, and specifically we're going to look at a tool that promises to cut through all the noise and just get you creating, fast.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had this brilliant idea? For a cool character, a wild creature, some kind of gadget, and you just wished you could, poof, bring it into the third dimension? That feeling, that dream of just sculpting what's in your head, it's a really powerful thing.
And then reality hits, right? You open up one of those big professional 3D programs and it's like looking at the cockpit of an airplane. Just a wall of buttons, endless menus. You feel like you need a PhD just to make a cube. It happens to so many people, and that's usually where that creative spark just fizzles out.
But what if there was another way in? A simpler path? Well, that's exactly what we're looking at today. Meet ShapeWorks, a tool that was literally designed to be the answer to all that crazy complexity.
This right here is its whole mission statement. ShapeWorks isn't trying to be the program with the most features. Not at all. Its entire goal is to be the most accessible. The words to focus on here are beginner-friendly and effortless. It's all about tearing down the walls between your idea and a finished 3D model.
Now this is really interesting. This quote comes from the original source material, and it's a translation of a Korean phrase, "Alcha begi yongdo nukim." And you know how some phrases don't have a perfect one-to-one translation? Well, a nugget of usefulness. That just hits the nail on the head. It's not this giant, bloated piece of software. It's a focused, valuable, and incredibly useful tool that does one thing, and does it extremely well.
Okay, so how does it actually do it? How does it achieve this level of simplicity? Well, the philosophy behind ShapeWorks is basically a direct response to all the things that make learning 3D so frustrating. Let's really break that down. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way, wrestling with confusing pipelines, trying to memorize a million different keyboard shortcuts, and just constantly hitting technical walls. But then you look at the ShapeWorks way. You start with a simple sphere. You use an interface that actually feels good to use, and most importantly, you get to just focus on your imagination.
So really, that's the heart of it. The workflow is just dead simple. You're not building rigs, you're not plotting vertices, none of that. You start with what is basically a digital ball of clay, and you just sculpt. The whole program is designed to be intuitive, so you can shape your ideas without getting completely bogged down in the technical stuff.
Okay, so let's say you're interested. You're thinking, all right, I want to give this a shot. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the practical details you need to actually get your hands on ShapeWorks.
It's super straightforward. You can find it right on the Steam store. And for now, it's available on Windows. Easy enough, right?
Now, let's talk about the price. The lowest recorded sale price for this, according to our source, was 24,800 South Korean won. So that just shows you don't have to break the bank to get a really solid sculpting tool. But you can be even smarter about it.
And here is the golden tip straight from the source. It's the #1 rule of Steam, right? Patience is key. Keep an eye out for those huge summer and winter sales. And sometimes the developer will just drop a random discount. That's your moment to jump on it and get the best deal.
But what if you don't want to wait? What if you want to try it right now, before you even commit? Well, there's a really clever little workaround that pretty much acts as a totally risk-free trial. This is just a fantastic hack that uses Steam's own really fair refund policy. So here's what you do. You buy the software, full price. Then you download it, and you mess around with it for a bit. The absolute key here is to keep your playtime under 2 hours. If you try it for an hour and a half and decide it's not for you, you just go request a full refund, no questions asked. It is the absolute best way to demo the full software.
So, after all that, we get to the big question. We know what it is, we know how it works, we know how to get it. But is this the right tool for your creative journey?
ShapeWorks really seems to hit the sweet spot for a few groups of people. If you're an artist who's just dipping your toes into 3D for the first time, this is for you. If you're a hobbyist or an indie developer who just needs to make assets quickly, this is for you. And honestly, if you're just plain tired of overly complicated software and want to get ideas out of your head and onto the screen fast, then this could be exactly what you've been looking for.
And that pretty much brings us to the end. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. If you had a tool that completely removed all those technical barriers and lets you start sculpting from a simple ball of clay in just minutes, what's the very first thing you would create?